Hey everyone, back again. It's Friday, thank the Lord. I'm stuck in traffic trying to get home from work. It's ungodly. So, I was going to start with a rant from my commute into work this morning, but I saw some stuff that changed my mind. The first thing is, if you're not aware, there's like a big caravan van of thousands of people coming from like Guatemala or wherever, on their way to the United States to cross the border illegally. Now, before you go around saying that, oh, Mando Picker, or whatever his name is, I honestly don't keep track of my own name on here, but if you're going to go around saying, oh, I'm anti-immigrant, I'm racist, I'm blah, 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 let me start by saying, bull hockey. I have no issue when it comes to immigration. Immigrants, no issue. No issue with other races, the colors of people's skin or their ethnicity or any of that other stuff. Couldn't care less. But I do have one caveat. If you're going to come to my country, the country where I live, there's certain things you have to understand. First off, we have laws. You need to follow them. That includes the immigration laws. The second thing is, and this is a pet peeve, don't come here trying to make it more like your country. Understand that we are a different country. We are different, have different laws, different customs, blah, blah, blah. Now, it's okay to have your own customs. And, to be where you're from, it's okay to incorporate that. But don't try to make everyone else cow down to and make special exceptions for you. Don't try to change everything to make it more like where you come from or make things more like you. Understand, if you're coming here, if you're going to move someplace else, even if it's to a different city, you have to adapt to your surroundings. You don't try to force them to adapt to you. It's a certain degree of consideration. Do you think people who come here illegally necessarily give a flying flip about our laws or our customs? The answer is no, they don't. Or for the most part, they don't. And I say that because, especially with the laws, if they actually did care about our laws and customs, or at the very least our laws, they would go through the proper legal procedures to come here legally. And if you're willing to do that, and if you're willing to understand, you're going someplace else, you need to adapt to your new surroundings, I have no issue. And I have no issue with you trying to incorporate aspects of your culture. Just don't go someplace else and expect them to bend over backwards to accommodate you. That's backwards, in my not so humble opinion. And if you think the politicians on both sides are not gearing up to utilize this caravan of illegal immigrants, bull hockey. There will be a link in the description. This is a fairly new story at the time of this recording. I'm not finding very many sources on it. The most credible is Fox News. Take that as you may. The particular story is that there are allegations that the Democrat Party in Texas sent out forms, voter registration forms to illegals with certain boxes marked on it, stating that they were here illegally, I think it was, when they're not. That's illegal. Illegal immigrants. And if you're not an American citizen, unless something has changed and I'm not aware of it, you're not allowed to vote. And that's the way it should be, because, quite frankly, you shouldn't have people from that are not citizens in your country trying to vote and make decisions to affect you. No. Just no. You're not a citizen. You should not have a say in the runnings of the government. I'm just saying. That's the way it is. Same as if you're not a citizen, you should not be a part of the government. Or at the very least a politician where you're making and setting the policies. Because if you're not a citizen, how can you have the best interest of the American citizens? You can't. But here they are, they're going, allegedly, going out sending these mailers, trying to register people who are not legally, as far as I know, supposed to vote. And why? Because that's how they're planning on getting their blue wave come November. Hey, dude. You didn't have an arrow. Don't try to run me over. That's my take on it. If you're going to come to America or any other country, go through the proper legal procedures. Don't be a jerk off about it. Understand that there's a certain give and take. It's okay to have at least aspects of your culture. Just don't expect other people to bend over backwards to accommodate your every whim. And most importantly, don't try to change everything to be more like it was from where you came from. Now, in regards to this political mailing voter registration bull crap, at this point in time, I think it's just allegations. I'm not seeing anything very credible. I'm going to keep an open mind on this. It is, especially since it's a fairly breaking news story from what I gather, and there's not a whole heck of a lot to base a decision on one way or another. Do I think this needs to be looked into? Yes. And investigated? Oh, yes. And if they did something wrong, I think something needs to definitely be done about it. I'm not going to condemn anyone, but because, there's no 100%, there's been no investigation, no proof. I would love to be able to just go at him and go off on him, because I know there's a lot of people on the left would love, they tried to do that with Kavanaugh and just try to condemn him on just off of allegations alone. But quite frankly, that's not how the system works. Like I said, I'd love to give them a taste of their own medicine, but no, I'm not going to. Here's what you do. You push for an investigation, even if it's just a quickie. An investigation is an investigation and better than nothing. If it's found they did something wrong, the proper authorities can handle it. If they did something criminal, find out who did it and lock them up. The fact of the matter is, we've got politicians on both sides just salivating, trying to find ways to turn this into the illegal immigration issue into a huge pissing match, more or less, all to get votes. To me, here's my thing. We have voter immigration laws, and they say the immigration system is broken. But I think the biggest issue is, what's broken most is the expedient implementation of them. It's like how the old saying goes, how can you go around saying something's broken and trying to fix it if you've never really tried it? Just saying. It's like going to a new restaurant and, grabbing you some salt and going at it before you ever taste the food. It may not need it. You don't know till you try it. And I think that's a big issue we have with the immigration system in America. We're not really trying it. So we don't really know what we're fixing, but yet we're trying to monkey around and fix it and make matters worse. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. I'm going to put a link to that story on I'll use the one from Fox News because, like I said, it's the most credible. But I'll put a link in the description to that particular story. Give it a once over and let me know what you think. Like I said, if this is a true thing, yeah, there needs to be something done on it. It's close enough that there should be plenty of evidence one way or another to prove whether or not this happened. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. Let me know what you think. Later.